On January 10, 2018, an 8-year-old girl named Asifa Bano disappeared from Rasana village, located in the Kathua district of Jammu and Kashmir. She belonged to a Bakarwal Muslim nomadic family who had set up camp in the forested area around the village. That day, Asifa had gone to bring back the horses, something she did regularly, but she didn't return. Her family searched through the night. The next day, they went to the local police, but they were turned away, told she might have just run off. No serious action was taken immediately. But Asifa hadn't run away. She had been abducted and taken to a nearby temple building in the same village, a place the family would never have imagined. Over the next 5 to 6 days, she was held captive, sedated, raped, and eventually killed. She was sedated and repeatedly raped. Forensic evidence and post-mortem reports confirmed that Asifa was given strong sedatives, specifically clonazepam and Betrayal, to keep her unconscious and compliant. These drugs are not over-the-counter. They were used intentionally. She was raped multiple times while under sedation. There was physical assault, too. Her legs were fractured, and there were multiple internal injuries. Her body showed signs of torture, not just assault. Some injuries appeared to be caused by blunt objects. The reports confirmed sexual assault occurred over several days, not just once. Killed after several days of torture. By January 14th or 15th, the decision was made to kill her. She was first strangled using her own scarf. But even after that, to make sure she was dead, her head was smashed twice with a heavy stone. The postmortem confirmed that the skull was fractured, and the cause of death was craniocerebral damage, along with asphyxiation. Her body was dumped in the forest area close to where she was taken from. On January 17, her body was finally discovered. It was already decomposing, her clothes were torn, bruises and injuries on her thighs, lower abdomen, and shoulders. Fractures in the legs and injuries in the chest. No food in her stomach, suggesting she was starved during captivity. Signs of multiple sexual assaults. Heavy sedation in her bloodstream. Evidence of manual strangulation and blunt force trauma to the skull. Everything pointed to one thing. This was not an accident or an isolated assault. It was planned, and it was brutal. Asifa was not from a rich or powerful family. Her parents were herders. Her people were not rooted in one place. They moved with the seasons. She lived in a tent, helped with animals, and occasionally attended school. Her life was simple, quiet, and away from the public eye. Until this happened. On January 10. Raped for several days. Killed around January 14 or 15. Found on January 17. Between the day she disappeared and the day her body was found, no real help came. No urgent police action, no search team. Her family was left to beg for attention. Truth has a habit of suffocating in the presence of power. But sometimes it finds air, even in the darkest corners. When 8-year-old Asifa Bano's body was discovered in the forests of Rasana 7 days after her disappearance, it should have triggered an urgent all-hands-on-deck investigation. Instead, what followed was a deliberate cover-up, planted evidence, and an attempt to bury the truth along with her body. This isn't just a story of a child's murder. It's the story of how truth nearly lost, and the people who risked everything to bring it back. The first lie, she just got lost. When Asifa's family filed the missing complaint at Hiranagar Police Station on January 10, 2018, the station house officer, SHO, she's probably gone off somewhere, they were told. Behind the scenes, the local cops were already doing something far worse. 2 names became central to the attempted sabotage. Anand Dutta of Hiranagar, Tilak Raj, sub-inspector, who led the first investigation. Both officers were bribed with cash and influence to destroy evidence, delay the forensic procedures, and even frame an innocent man. Washed Asifa's clothes, erasing crucial biological evidence. Delayed sending her vaginal swabs and blood samples for DNA testing. tried to plant false leads, suggesting a local man from the Gujjar community had murdered her over a land dispute. But that lie didn't hold. The facts didn't add up, and more importantly, someone refused to stay silent. In late January 2018, amid growing pressure and local protests, the Jammu and Kashmir Police's crime branch took over the case. This is where everything began to change. The Special Investigation Team was led by Senior Superintendent of Police SSP, a man known for his integrity. He immediately noticed the flaws in the earlier probe, and worse, the deliberate destruction of evidence. The new team, and soon, more truth began to leak out. Witnesses who had stayed silent earlier confided in these officers. Some even anonymously passed on information. One spoke of hearing screams from the temple. Another said Sanji Ram had been unusually aggressive the day Asifa disappeared. The SIT, over the next few weeks, began digging through layers of deception. Who were the accused? As investigations progressed, the list of accused began to take shape. Sanji Ram, the temple priest, aged 60 plus, believed to be the mastermind. A former revenue official and local Hindu Ekta Manch leader, he wanted to teach a lesson to the Bakarwal Muslims for settling in the area. Deepak Khajuria, a special police officer, SPO. He was called back to the village to participate in the assault before the girl was killed. The murder was even delayed until he arrived. Parvesh Kumar, a civilian accomplice involved in the rape. Sanji Ram's nephew, a juvenile, a minor, though his role was equally horrific, he allegedly helped in kidnapping, rape, and keeping watch. Vishal Jangotra, Sanji Ram's son, who traveled from Meerut to join the assault. Anand Dutta and Tilak Raj SIE, the police officers who accepted bribes and attempted to derail the investigation. Surendo Verma, head constable, another officer accused of helping tamper with evidence. It became clear the police were not just lazy, they were complicit. While witnesses were shaky and the police corrupt, forensic science became the backbone of the case. The crime branch ensured all tests were repeated under strict chain of custody protocols. Findings included blood and hair samples from Asifa's clothes matched those of multiple accused. Sedatives, clonazepam and epitril, found in her system matched tablets found in the temple. DNA from the juvenile Vishal Jangotra and Deepak Khajuria matched semen samples. Traces of her blood were found on the temple floor, even though it had been cleaned. The temple, supposed to be a place of prayer, became the central crime scene. But as the crime branch collected more truth, the backlash grew louder. The resistance begins. When the crime branch filed its charges sheet in April 2018, hell broke loose. It was unlike anything India had seen before. Justice was now a battlefield. The police officers who tried to speak the truth were threatened. Rumors spread that the investigating officers were anti-national. SSP Ramesh Jella received veiled warnings. But he continued. He said in a statement, "We saw the child. We saw what they did. I will not stop." Up began saying the crime branch was biased. Others claimed it was a conspiracy to defame Hindus. Social media exploded with misinformation, fake narratives that Asifa's murder was staged. A few politicians added fuel to the fire. A local lawyers association even tried to block the charges sheet from being filed in court. The lines were clear. One side wanted justice for Asifa. The other side wanted to protect the killers because they shared a religion. But one thing didn't change: the evidence. This case could have been buried under files, lost, like so many others. A point is, because of a handful of honest officers, because of a grieving family who wouldn't stop shouting. It wasn't just about rape or murder. It was about institutional betrayal. Imagine being Asifa's father, walking into a police station trusting that the officers will find your daughter, only to discover they were helping her killers escape. The men who wore uniforms were supposed to stand for the law. Instead, they stood for hatred, money, and silence. The line between predator and protector was erased. This case exposed how evidence can be destroyed at the source, how police can be bought with cash or political loyalty, how temples can become crime scenes and still be defended, how children can be used to send messages of terror and dominance. But it also proved that truth can survive, even when suffocated. By mid-2018, the truth had been laid out. The charges sheet was ready. The public enraged. The media storm growing. The killers would soon face trial. But justice was still far away. Transfer of trial for fairness. Due to significant public outcry and concerns over potential bias and intimidation in Jammu and Kashmir, the Supreme Court of India transferred the trial to the District and Sessions Court in Pathankot, Punjab. The apex court mandated an in-camera, day-to-day trial to ensure a fair and impartial judicial process. Judges from the crime branch of the Jammu and Kashmir Police filed a comprehensive charges sheet against 8 individuals, including a juvenile. The charges were framed under various sections of the Ranbir Penal Code, RPC, which was applicable in Jammu and Kashmir at the time. The primary charges included Section 302, murder, Section 376D, gang rape, Section 120B, criminal conspiracy, Section 201, causing disappearance of evidence of offense or giving false information to screen offender. Sanji Ram, retired revenue official and temple caretaker. Deepak Khajuria, special police officer. Parvesh Kumar, civilian. Anand Dutta, sub-inspector. Tilak Raj, head constable. Surrender Verma, special police officer. Vishal Jangotra, son of Sanji Ram. Juvenile, nephew of Sanji Ram. Trial proceedings. The trial commenced in June 2018 and concluded in June 2019. Over the course of the trial, the court examined 114 witnesses presented by both the prosecution and the defense. The proceedings were conducted in camera to protect the identity of the victim and ensure the safety of witnesses. Verdict and sentencing. On June 10, 2019, the District and Sessions Court in Pathankot delivered its verdict. Convicted and sentenced to life imprisonment. Sanji Ram, Deepak Khajuria, Parvesh Kumar. These 3 were found guilty under Sections 302, 376D, and 120B of the RPC. They were sentenced to life imprisonment and fined 1 rupee, 0 paislak each. Convicted and sentenced to 5 years imprisonment. Anand Dutta, Tilak Raj, Surrender Verma. These police officials were found guilty under Section 201 of the RPC for destroying evidence and were sentenced to 5 years in prison. Vishal Jangotra was acquitted due to lack of evidence. Juvenile accused. The trial for the juvenile accused is pending, as his petition regarding age determination is yet to be adjudicated by the Jammu and Kashmir High Court. Legal implications. The Kathua case highlighted the critical need for judicial reforms in handling sensitive cases involving minors and communal tensions. It underscored the importance of impartial investigations and the role of the judiciary in upholding the rule of law, even amid societal and political pressure. It